What is the general feeling that you're getting from some of the lawmakers as you're pass this plan around?
Every lawmaker has their own political calculus on this one. It's a complicated issue. It has some public perception issues too, and there are some strange, I would say, alliances in the groups that are opposing this. You know, with both Iowans for Tax Relief and ISEA registered opposed. That's just kind of an interesting thing. I think most of the legislators that we would see kind of representing mainstream Iowa tend to think this is the right thing to do, and even those that have expressed some concerns to us, their concerns are about making sure that this money is dedicated for school infrastructure, and they want to be confident of that.
So the whole penny would go to school infrastructure?
Yeah, yeah. And it pretty much has to. It does today. It's collected in all 99 counties. I mean, the only expansion you get on that consumer use tax on out-of-state purchases then goes into a separate fund for property tax relief and equity. So that a legislator can vote on that and call it revenue neutral. You have an increase in consumer use tax, a decrease in property tax that's 1-to-1 for every dollar. And then there's the penny on cars. That's $53 million. That's a tax increase. I think it's one that Iowans would support because we've always been supportive of good roads in Iowa and safe travel conditions.
All right. You want to weigh in real fast, Cecil, on your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on this legislation are long-reaching. I voted on this legislation 10 years ago and voted in opposition to it because I could see down the road the inequities that it was going to bring to rural Iowa. And, I've been attempting to fix it for 10 years. We've gotten close several times, and I think we've come up with a bill this year that addresses the concerns that many had, that does good things for rural Iowa, the schools and the infrastructure, and equity of students across rural Iowa. I'd like to thank Representative Wendt for working with us and appeasing many of my concerns and coming up with a bill that we have today before us that I think with minor changes will be a very good bill for the state of Iowa and equity of students.
How about you? Yeah, Mr. Wendt, would you like to kind of weigh in on what you think of the...
Well, I sure would, because you know, it's as Representative Dolecheck said, it's been a work in progress for as long as I've been here, frankly, and this is my 6th year. And we did attempt to take every consideration or every concern that somebody had and to try and solve those problems, and we did a great deal of that in this bill so that we could get the bipartisan support for the bill. And I think the bill really provides a number of things that are concerns of Iowans: property tax equity, sales tax equity, road use tax fund. All of those are things that are concerns of Iowans, and so I feel good about it. It's been a lot of work, and you know, I thank a lot of people for helping with that, and hopefully we'll take that first step today when we pass it out of the House Education Committee.
What's the likelihood of that happening?
Very positive. It did pass a similar kind of legislation a year ago, passed out of the House Ed Committee 21-3. 21-2, I'm sorry.
And then as we get to the full House floor.
Well, that was the issue last time around, is we couldn't get it to the full House floor. It was bottled up in another committee, Ways and Means, I believe. And I think the political calculus on this is that we really need to do a full court press on getting it out of Ways and Means. Now, we have some reason to believe that the leadership of the Democrats in particular, but with Republican support, and that's important, it's bipartisan support, it's not universal. We think there is a chance of getting it out of Ways and Means, and we're confident, I believe, that if we can get it to the full floor, it will pass.
Any closing statements out of you?
I think anything that's good for kids, taxpayers, and roads in Iowa ought to get a full and fair hearing in front of this legislature.